many trade unions believe their work begins and ends at the workplace. In fact, the trade union movement, through the Industrial Revolution, before there was public education, opened the libraries in their community so that they could educate where there was no education before. Now, if we are going to win the next general election, we are not going to do it with a debate inside forums like this. We have to reach out to those communities, particularly trade unions, beyond the workplace, to convince the ordinary punter that, you know, there is an alternative. Tina, there is no alternative. There is an alternative, but people need to be convinced that there's an alternative. And talking about, and that means going out into the communities and educating people. Protest has been said before, great. We'll have a big protest in March in London. They'll shuffle us around all the back streets of London. We'll end up in a demonstration, and by the time we get there, the speeches will be over and all that. That isn't going to convince anybody that we need an alternative to this government. We need to be working in our communities, and in whether it's the steelworks in Port Talbot or in Scunthorpe or wherever, we've got to convince that community that what the right thing to do is get this government out. So it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, we need the protest and all that. Now, talking about what Nita said, we had, as Nita has said, a relationship with the Labour government. I believe, honestly and sincerely, in the force of argument, not the argument of force. Only as a last resort will my union, and it's done it on many occasions, actually gone to the force. But we have persuaded, talking about productivity, Phil, my industry, steel, had 10% year-on-year productivity when the national average for manufacturing was 3%. And the reason the steel industry declined, because it was privatized in 1990 and they invested not a bean. British Steel, when it was nationalized, didn't invest a bean. It made billions of pounds of profit, but it took it out and it never put it in. And that's why originally in 1967 the steel industry was nationalized. History repeating itself. So, you know, you have to engage with government. It has to be a partnership. Partnership of work, partnership with the community, and partnership with the government. Fundamentally important. It isn't sort of the tub thumping and finger pointing that's going to get us there. It's persuading ordinary working people in the communities that we represent that there is an alternative.
Thanks, Mike.